Good morning, Hojo staff, students, and families. We're ready to start our day. So everybody please stand. Place your right hand over your heart. Our voices are off and bodies are still. Our eyes are on the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Well, good morning, everyone. And today is Thursday, January 21st in the year 2021. So it's 1/21/21 today. Lucky day, we're all back to school. We were supposed to be back to school on Tuesday, but we had snow and looks like more snow in the forecast. So we'll see how things go. But for today, we're going to have school in school. If you're ready to come back, we're ready to have you here. So let me know. And today is our first day back in 2021 with students here at school. So to start off like we normally do, we have some music. Well, Mrs. Neff has given us a selection, but I wanted to play an old selection first and see if you can tell me who the composer is and the name of the piece, and then I'll tell you it's the same composer and we'll listen to a new selection from that same composer. So here is a selection that we have listened to before, and I'm sure if you were a student here, especially before we were remote, you'll remember this one. Do you remember? Clair de Lune by Claude Debussy. That's right. And so we have a new selection from that same composer that's posted on our playlist, on our channel, on YouTube. So let's listen to the new selection. Hopefully you could hear that. It's pretty quiet, isn't it? That's sort of something that both pieces have in common. Very soft, very quiet piano music, very calm, right? That's a good way to start our day. Very calm. And the name of that selection is Petite Suite en Bateau by Claude Debussy. Petite Suite en Bateau by Claude Debussy. All right, friends, maybe you can listen to that whole thing while you eat your breakfast or lunch or whatever meal you're having when you watch this video. Okay, so for artists, first thing we have to tell everyone is that we have a new art teacher. Although if you were to see him, you would not realize he's new. And why is that? Because he is Mr. Berg's twin brother, identical twin brother. So Mr. Berg is still the art teacher, but it's a different Mr. Berg. So now we have two Mr. Bergs, and he has chosen a selection for us. His artist is John Singer Sargent. Now, John Singer Sargent is an American artist because his parents were American, but he was born in Italy, and he learned how to be an artist in Italy and in Paris, France, where lots of artists learned their craft in the late 1800s. And so he was also inspired by Diego Velázquez. Do you remember Diego Velázquez? He was a portrait painter. This is his self-portrait. Do you remember this? Diego Velázquez, that's his picture. He painted himself. Interesting, all the clothes and the way they did their hair and their mustache. He'd look very different today, but that's what he looked like back then. And remember, he was pretty good at being an excellent artist. And so John Singer Sargent followed in his footsteps, was inspired by him, and also became a very meticulous and very careful portrait artist, and his likenesses were very very popular because he was such a good portrait artist. One thing that Mr. Berg wanted me to share with you is that his style is that there is a contrast between there's some soft brush strokes and some fine detail, and that's one of the defining aspects of John Singer Sargent portrait. So the first portrait that he has for us is the portrait of two young children, Edward and Marie-Louise Paillon. And here is their portrait that he painted in 1881. I'm going to hold it up for you and tell you a little bit about it. Hopefully you can see it clearly there. So there's two children, and this is an example of what high society would look like. People who are very wealthy. And remember, we talked about that a lot of times, that the person who could afford to pay for an artist to come and do their portrait were only the very wealthy. And so there is some contrast there. The background, it's very soft, but the face and the features of the, especially the young girl, are very clear. You can even kind of tell her personality, can't you, by looking at that? She's kind of looking intensely. It looks like she might jump right off of that little seat that she's on and come right at you and have something to say. So they have very interesting features. And the young man in the picture sort of looks like he's studying you. It's an interesting feeling to be looking at a painting, but feel like somebody's looking back at you. So John Singer Sargent, and the first portrait is of Edward and Marie-Louise Paillon. Okay, friends. So yesterday an interesting thing happened. Let me show you a piece of architecture here in our country, and that is what, friends? The front and back of the White House. That's right. And we had a new president, our 46th president. Put it on the list. Another one to memorize. Joe Biden, number 46, was inaugurated yesterday and is the new U.S. president, and now resides at this location. Remember, just when we were here last together, Donald Trump was the president who was living here, and now we had a peaceful transfer of power, which is something that the United States has been known for over 200 years. That every 4 years there's an election and there's a peaceful transfer of power to the next president coming in. Sometimes the president serves 2 terms. In this case, Trump served 1 term, and then there was a transfer of power to the next president. That's something that doesn't happen in every country. And I know there's been a lot of talk lately about how America is divided, and you may have heard some things, or maybe your parents are not happy with how things worked out. But our country has been divided before many times in much worse circumstances, and we remain solid. And the nice thing was there was a peaceful transfer of power, and so that's just an example of how America is resilient. Okay, friends, before we went on break, we were talking about the Bill of Rights. I think to keep our announcements shorter today, we're going to hold off, and tomorrow we'll go back to those Bill of Rights. Because we have a lot of birthdays to announce, and a lot of people having birthdays around here. So let's start back. I'm not sure where we left off, but since school was supposed to start back up on the 4th and we were remote for a time period, I'm going to go back over anyone who had a birthday since school would have started back up remotely. So that would be Vincent had a birthday, and Mia had a birthday, Kelly and Juliana had a birthday. Avril had a birthday, Caden and Braden and Nevaeh and Daniel and Keb Andre And yesterday, Isaiah had a birthday, and today we have two birthdays. Maddie's having a birthday. Happy birthday, Maddie. And Christian's having a birthday today. Happy birthday, sir. I hope all of you had birthdays over the break or over the time that we weren't in school. You had a great day and were able to celebrate with your families. So I feel like celebrating today because students are coming back to school, and I'm very glad to have you back. That's all we have for announcements for today. We do have some new staff members, so I just wanted to point out that Miss Shirley is also a new staff member. So she will be working with our older students on some of their individual work. And we also have another staff member, is Miss Pfeiffer, who is taking over for Miss Stefke's English, 6th grade English, and Mr. Williams is now going to be doing the middle school history. So some of those changes, and we sent out an email about that, hope you got that. So those are some of the changes that we had since the break. So I hope you have a great 1/21/21 today. So let's do our student pledge. I will do the good, I will learn the true, and I will love the beautiful. And I hope you have a great day today.